Yeah, welcome back to the channel. And of course, this is where we talk so much about the game of football. And if you've noticed, it has been a week since I last made any post on the channel. It is very intentional, although it wasn't planned. It just kind of happened after the whole incident with Diogo Jota and his death. We as a club and as a footballing community has been mourning the death of Diogo Jota. So the last post you would see on this channel before this particular one that is coming out is my tribute to Diogo Jota. But as of today, football is back, and the Liverpool just played our first game of preseason. We played against Preston and we happened to win 3-1. Let me just say this for the record. A win in preseason, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't determine how far you would go in a season. But we as football fans always like to see our teams win. And it is good to see them win in this fashion. So we won 3-1, and just a quick look at the goals. The first goal came in the first minutes of the game, and it was scored by Conor Bradley. That particular game, it's one of those games where they say that the assist is better than the goal. In this case, the build up to the goal itself, Chiesa was fully involved in it, and his footworks that led to basically the creation of the goal is very impressive. So just go look it up, you will understand what I'm saying. That was a very impressive one from Chiesa, and I think the last person that touched the ball before Bradley is actually Salah, so he may go in as a Salah assist, but the point is that we got the first goal by Conor Bradley, and the other two goals came in the second half of the game. Darwin Núñez scored that, and then the third came from Cody Gakpo. Funny enough, the assist for that particular goal also came from Darwin Núñez. So from this first game in the preseason, Núñez already has a goal and an assist to his name. But now let's go back to the core things of a game like this, because most of the time preseason games is basically an opportunity to test, to help get the players back to full fitness, help them prepare, train with the squad, and just basically get set for the season ahead. And from what we all know, preseason is especially important for the new players that are joining the club. For today's game, we didn't get to see Florian Wirtz, but we saw other new signings there. Mamadashvili was there in the first half of the game. It was a decent performance. He looks like one of those goalkeepers that has a lot of saves in the bags. Like, he's one of those people that if he stands in between the posts, he's going to pull a lot of saves. What I'm quite curious to see is the ball passing side of his game. Like, I want to see how he performs on the ball and every other thing. But the main thing you expect from a goalkeeper, which is as a shot stopper, he ticks the box. But yeah, I'm not getting ahead of myself, because I know that this is still the first game of the preseason. So the other new signings that we got to see today, Kekes and Frimpong played in that second half of the game. Again, I'm going to say it, that you performed really well in a preseason game doesn't say that you are going to perform well for a club. But we like to see these guys. We like to see them fit into the squad. We like to see them adopt the game plan of the entire team. And that's exactly what we saw today. That second half wasn't exactly a flashy half of the game, but I know that it would be a lot more impressive to see how they will actually perform in a full squad, because in that back line, we even saw Robertson playing centre back. I'm not sure I've ever seen Robertson play centre back for Liverpool, but this is preseason. We are free to try several things. But when we finally have the likes of Van Dijk, Konate in that middle of the pack, then it becomes a lot more interesting to see how Kekes would run through that left hand side, and then the likes of Frimpong running things at the right hand side of the game. So that's it. This first game of the preseason, it basically gave us everything we needed it to have. We saw goals, We saw defensive capabilities. We also got to see some of the young lads do what they do best. Rio played in the first half of the game, and honestly, he was superb. He was very impressive in that half of the game. So I'm very impressed. I'm honestly very impressed with everything I saw him do in that half of the game. And of course, some things are still missing in his game. His finishing could need a couple of work, but I think that's one of those things that comes with being a lot more experienced as a footballer and as a winger in his position. So he's also one of those people that I'm looking at towards the beginning of the season to see what his personal plans for himself and what the club could decide about his future, because he could decide to stay back and fight for first team football in Liverpool, but we all know it's going to be very tough because he's not yet ripe to play in that position week in, week out for us. I mean, look at Elliot. Elliot is still struggling to break into the lineup. So, and the other option that is there for him is to go on loan to another club where he could play first team football and then look forward to chances of getting into the first squad of Liverpool in the near future. For me, whatever he decides to do, I don't have any problem with it. And one other person, a young lad that I actually noticed in this game, is the guy that played centre back in the first half of the game. He goes by Stevenson, and he was very impressive. Like, he was caught in a couple of 1v1 positions, and his defensive display in those positions were very impressive. Like, he was very calm. He didn't rush into tackles. He intercepted at the right times, and it gives me hope to know that we have young players like that in the squad. So this is it. The first day of preseason was a superb one, and I feel like it is very important to also mention that throughout the game there were several moments where both Liverpool fans, Preston fans, Liverpool players, Preston players, and basically everyone that was there were paying their respect to the departed Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva. And our goal scorers in the second half of the game paid special respect to Diogo Jota by using his celebration for each of their goals. So while we are at the beginning of this preseason and also getting set for the footballing part of what awaits us in the coming season, there is surely no doubt about where our head is regarding what has already befallen us as a club. So that's it. Our first preseason game is done and dusted. A win is in the bag. We got to see some of the new players. We got to see the young lads. We also got to see the old players in the squad, and everything happened really well. On the side of the respect being paid, respect we are paid properly, and I'm sure that it will continue like this in subsequent games. And I'm all in for it. I'm ready for it. If you're also ready for it, feel free to connect to the channel because we are getting serious and things are getting started. So let's build this community. Subscribe to the channel, like, leave your comments. Thank you.